Hello, I am Cigar and Bar, and welcome to Tobacco Shorts. Today we are going to be doing the first in a rather long series of videos on tobacco snuff. Tobacco snuff is a ground, dried tobacco product that is either a mixture of tobacco leaves ground and dried all on their own, or has a number of flavor elements added. It has been made by various countries in various nations all around the world for the last 500 years at least. The origins of tobacco snuff can be traced back quite a ways, although it was a mainstay of 17th century culture in both North America and Europe, particularly amongst the aristocracy and particularly amongst people in Scotland. Scotland was considered to be a hotbed of snuff usage. Its use had been documented back to the indigenous peoples of Brazil, who had ground up and taken their snuff nasally stored in flasks made of bone, and had been observed as early as 1493 by European explorers of the Carib people. Following that, it was also quite popular in Europe. It was prescribed to Catherine de' Medici for her headaches, and she declared it to be a miracle cure. It was effective for her headaches, and she recommended it as a panacea for a number of different illnesses. And from there, its popularity just grew and grew. Snuff, as a word, was first used by the Dutch in the 1560s when it arrived there. They referred to it as snoof, S-N-U-I-F. The snoof, which we know as snuff, was quite popular there. It was also quite well used in the 1665 to 1666 Great Plague of London as a sort of nasal curative for that particular plague. And it's been popular ever since. It's just been a piece of tobacco culture. Recently, I was very surprised to discover that tobacco was a big part of African culture. It, in some accounts, predates the arrival of European culture and European missionaries, which is a bit odd because tobacco wasn't native to Africa, from what I've read. If anyone has any different information, please comment below and let me know. I'd be interested. I recently was at a historic reenactment dealing with the 24th of Foot in the Anglo-Zulu Wars, and we had an expert there who had brought along a good deal of his collection, showing us a number of African spears, African shields, a lot of the Zulu weapons that would have been used during that campaign. And on some of these Zulu war clubs, there was a little divot in the top at the rear end or at the very top of the club, and I inquired what was that for, and he said, well, that was for the taking of snuff, that they would take a bump of tobacco snuff off of their war clubs. And I was blown away, because in all that I'd heard and read about the Anglo-Zulu War, I had no idea that snuff was such an integral part of the native population's culture. So that was fascinating to me. As far as snuff is concerned, it's something that's very popular with me, something that I've used since my childhood. It was introduced to me by my best friend's mother when I was very young. Yes, she was Scottish, and that explains the connection. And this snuff of choice for her and for me back in those days was Wilson's of Sharrow. So we're going to do a bump of snuff, as it is called, the Wilson's of Sharrow snuff today. This is the Peppermint, which is one of the more classic nasal snuffs, so we're going to go with that today. Just a note, today's Tobacco Corner dealing with snuff is a little bit longer than most. I just wanted to do a little bit of an introductory video here. Most of them will be very quick, just here's the snuff, here's what it's like, goodbye, have a good week. So if you want to tune into these videos, then you're going to get a little bit less than this most times. Like I said, today we're going to have some Wilson's of Sharrow Peppermint snuff, and it is enjoyed like so. It is traditional to heavily wrap the snuff against the side of your hand to cause it to settle so that it's not going to make a mess when you open it. You can take a pinch with a finger or a number of different implements. Today I'm going to be using a pipe nail with a little spoon end. Scoop up a little bump of this peppermint snuff, and I'm going to place it on my hand in this section of the webbing between the thumb and forefinger, which is known as the snuff box. And it's not necessary to do anything else with it. You just put it there and you can snuff it up. I tend to like to separate it into two little mounds, one for each nostril. Just a little bit of snuff there on my hand, or a lot, depending on what your experience is with snuff. This would be tobacco snuff number 1, the Wilsons of Sharrow Peppermint. Very clean, very light, very cool. It just clears the sinuses. It's very nice. And there's something that is going to be very common in my review of snuffs in this particular flavor, which is underneath of that peppermint overtone, there is an undertone of starch, like an undercooked pasta. And I find that a lot in snuff. I don't find it distracting anymore because I expect it to be there. And this case is no disappointment. I do, however, enjoy that peppermint cleanness, and you're going to smell that for a little while, which is one thing that makes shooting these videos a little bit difficult, because I can't just sit here and do snuff after snuff after snuff after snuff. First of all, my sinuses would not thank me for that. And second of all, this could be a lot of crossover between flavors. So I can't do more than a snuff a day in an attempt to really separate the flavors so I know which one is which for reviewing purposes. So it's going to take me, what I've got on hand is about 37 snuffs. It's going to take me about 37 days to record all of them. And it's going to take me, if I keep it up in this fashion, 37 weeks to post all of them. So if you're interested in this kind of video, in this kind of content, then please do follow along with these videos and check for them every week on Tuesday. We're going to have a Tobacco Tuesday, Tobacco Shorts on Tuesday, and we're going to do a Tobacconist Snuff probably every week. Unless I have something else of more importance to post on a Tuesday, we'll probably get one of these going every 7 days. So please tune in every week. And if you have any comments or any snuffs that you think I should really try, please comment below or please message me with them. I will let you know if it's coming up. Otherwise, I will let you find out when I post a video if I went out and bought it. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have an interest in learning about the Tobacconist Snuff. I am Cigar and Bar. Cheers.